So in this video, I am going to explain the usage of Python in IoT. Before moving into the introduction about Python, I am going to explain about IoT, application of IoT, components that is used in IoT, and of course we are going to learn about Python, introduction of Python and data types of Python. So this is the process of IoT. So you can use large number of sensors in the environment. So for example, we can have a mobile as a sensor device because the mobile devices is built in with certain sensors. So you can use the built-in sensors also to gather the information. And of course, if you are considering an automobile here, we can deploy large number of sensors like smoke detection sensors, temperature sensor, fire detection sensors in the automobiles. And of course, we can also have a speed detection sensors also. And likewise, we can deploy various type of sensors based upon the requirements in the environment. The sensors are responsible for gathering the informations from the deployed environment, and the gathered informations will be sent to the storage devices, or it can be stored inside a cloud. And you can apply a analysis on the stored data, and based upon the informations we can take an action on the environment also. So for example, let us consider a sensors deployed in the car now. And of course, if the smoke detection center that is deployed in the car, if it detects any smoke, it will be the information will be gathered by the sensor. It will be transmitted to the storage devices, and an analysis will be performed, and alarm will be generated, and the alarm will be information can be passed to the nearby fire station, or can be passed to the drivers, and the driver they can stop the car immediately. So we can avoid any damages by using the Internet of Things. And we can use IoT in various areas. We can have IoT in home automation system, and of course we can also have IoT in healthcare system. In most of the voltage monitoring system, we will be using IoT there. Structural health monitoring system, it is used to access the health of the buildings. And smart city, in the case of smart city, we can have various sensors to monitor the traffic jam. We can also monitor the usage of electrical power, and we can also use for safety purposes and traffic control. And of course, we can also use IoT in forest fire detection. And of course, the application is not limited. We can also have large number of applications using IoT. So before moving into the Python, we are going to learn the components of IoT. We will be having a hardware component, software component, cloud, as well as a network that is there. Hardware. So hardware is nothing but the sensors, and they are used to gather the information. The sensors will be deployed in the environment, and we can use the sensor to gather the information. And the sensors will be linked to the cloud with the help of the networks. And of course, we can use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or any network connectivity to link the hardware with the cloud. And we will be also having a software there. It is used for managing and controlling all the IoT devices, and it also help for establishing the connections also. And it also collect information, and the information will be stored or displayed. And it will be also having a cloud storage there. It is used to store, as well as we can also process the data with the help of this. And in this case, if you are using a sensor, we can use Raspberry Pi, Arduino, or ARM are the processors that is used in the sensors that help us to build an IoT device. So the processor, it supports the programming languages like Python, C, C++, or Java. So in nowadays, Python is the blooming languages, and writing code in Python is very easy. And of course, we are also having large number of plugin modules there. So better you can go for Python to write the programming in the processor. So Python is like a scripting language, but it is an object-oriented languages, and strict rules for syntax are not followed in the case of Python. And in the case of Python, the installation comes along with the IDE. So programming it becomes very easy, and of course it is an open source platform. And it supports the interface with the hardware platforms also. So we can use Python for programming Arduino or Raspberry Pi or ARM processors. And it also supports embedded system development platforms. So these are the data types of Python. Will be having numeric, dictionary, boolean, set and sequence type. Dictionary and list tuple are new to us. The numeric, strings, set, boolean are known to us. So under numeric we'll be having integer, complex and float. And under sequence type we are having string, list and tuples. So numeric data type, and of course this is not new to us. Everyone is familiar about the numeric data type. Numeric data have numeric values, and the values it can be either integer, floating point numbers, or even we can have a complex number there. Integer, integer can be either a positive or negative number, and of course in Python there is no limit, and we can have long value as integers, very big value as integers. And floating point numbers, floating point number is a real number with floating point representation, and it is specified by using a decimal point. And complex number, it combines both real part as well as the imaginary part. So this is a sample coding, and the main difference between Python and other programming languages is, in the case of Python, declaration is not needed here. So you can use the variables directly without declaring it. For example, in this program, we are assigning 5 to the variable a. So in this case, a will be considered as an integer because 5 is an integer. So a will be considered as an integer. So we are not going to declare a here, and based upon the value that is being assigned to a particular variable, the type of the variable is being decided. And next let us consider b now. Value 5.0 is assigned to b, and 5.0 is nothing but a floating point number. So the value of b depends upon the value of, the type of the value that is being assigned to b. And c is nothing but a complex number because 2.4j is a complex number and c is a complex number. So type function is used to print the type of the variables, and of course you know that a is integer, b is of type float and c is of type complex. So dictionary, next data type is nothing but dictionary. Dictionary is nothing but an unordered collection of data values. The dictionaries, the values will be stored in a key value pair, and each key value pair is separated by a colon, and each key is separated by a colon, and key value pair is separated by a comma. So the key value pair will be placed inside a curly braces. The value of key, it should be unique, and the value can have duplicate values also. You can search a corresponding value inside the dictionary with the help of the key. We can also build a dictionary with the help of DICT keyword. So let us consider you are having a dictionary named as DICT, and of course 1, 2 and 3 are nothing but key. Hindi, Tamil and Telugu are nothing but the value. And if you want to print the dictionary, we are printing the dictionary. So the output will be all the key value pairs will be printed here. And of course, if you want to access a corresponding value, we can access it with the help of the value, key also. So in this case, the Tamil will be printed. So we are accessing the Tamil by using this key value, that is nothing but 2. So Tamil will be printed here. And next data type is nothing but Boolean data type. And of course, we know that Boolean data type, it will have two built-in values, either true or false. So boolean method, it is used to return a Boolean value that is true or false. And in this case, no parameter is passed. And of course, we are having set as the next data type. Set is an unordered collection of data type, and it is mutable, and it does not have any duplicate elements. And the main advantage is it is used for checking whether a specific element is contained in the set or not. And this is an example program, and of course we are creating a blank set now, and we are printing it, and we can add an element inside a set with the help of add, or we can also use update also. So we are adding an element and we are printing the set after adding an element there, and of course we are going to add few more elements inside the set, and you are using the update function here, and we are going to add 10 and 11 there, and we are going to print the set. So we will be printing the empty set, and of course the set with the element 8 and set with element 10 and 11. So this is the output. String, and string is a collection of one or more characters, and that can be put in a single quote, double quote, or we can also use a triple quotes. And individual characters of a string can be also accessed by using the indexing method, and we can use either positive indexing, or also we can also use a negative indexing here. So the positive indexing, the first characters is represented as 0, and the negative indexing will be represented using a negative number, and -1 it represents the last character of the string. So 0 it represents the first character of the string, and -1 it represents the last character of the string. Let us consider the string 1 as welcome. We are printing the string. So if you want to print the first character, we are using positive indexing here, and it is nothing but 0 will be used, and the first character of the string will be printed out. And if you want to print the last character of the string using a negative indexing, we are using a -1 here, and the last character will be printed out here. List, it is also a collection of homogeneous data, and it will be represented within a square bracket. So its lists are mutable, and we can alter the list after creating it. And of course the same positive indexing and negative indexing is used to access the elements that is stored in the list. So negative indexing, already I have explained you that negative indexing, -1 it represents the last item, -2 it represents the second last item, and 0 it represents the first item. And this is a blank list now, and we are creating a list by using an append operation. So in the case of an append, the values can be added to the list, and the main important thing is the value will be added at the end of the list. And of course we can also insert a particular element in a particular position by using the insert function. So in the case of this insert function, 12 will be inserted in the second position. So if you want to add more number of values to the list, you can use extend. So in the case of append, we can add only one value to the list, and the main important thing is the value will be added at the end of the list. With the help of insert, we can add a one element, and we can add the element at the specified location. With the help of the extend, we can add any number of elements to the list. So this is how it works. And next is nothing but a tuple. Tuple is an ordered collection of objects, and this is similar to that of a list, but the main thing is that tuple is represented in brackets. And we will be using curly braces to represent the dictionaries, and square brackets to represent the list, and brackets to represent the tuples. And the main difference between list and tuple is the tuples are immutable. So it contains a sequence of values, and they are separated by using commas. And of course we can also same indexing process to access the elements from the tuples. So we are having the tuple. So if you want to print the first element, you are using a positive indexing 0. To print the last element, you are using the negative indexing -1. So that's all about the data types of Python. We will see the next in next videos. Thank you.